The intelligence paradox. Why smart men die alone in modern dating. You're sitting in a coffee shop watching a beautiful woman laugh at the most basic jokes from a guy who couldn't solve a math problem if his life depended on it. Meanwhile, you're analyzing the philosophical implications of her choice in literature, understanding the economic theories behind her startup idea, and seeing patterns in human behavior that most people miss entirely. Yet, she doesn't even notice you exist. Sound familiar? Welcome to the intelligence paradox, the cruel irony that the smarter you are, the lonelier you become in the modern dating world. Here's what's happening right now, and it's more devastating than you think. While you're developing your mind, mastering complex subjects, and becoming genuinely fascinating, the dating world has evolved into something that punishes intelligence and rewards simplicity. The very qualities that make you exceptional as a human being are making you invisible as a romantic prospect. And the worst part? Nobody talks about this. Today, I'm going to reveal why being intelligent has become a dating disability in our current culture, why the most thoughtful men are being systematically excluded from romantic success, and most importantly, how to bridge the gap between your intellectual gifts and your emotional needs without dumbing yourself down or betraying who you are. Think about every romantic comedy you've ever seen. The protagonist is never the brilliant scientist, the thoughtful philosopher, or the strategic thinker. He's always the charming fool who wins through persistence and luck. This isn't coincidence. It's cultural programming that has trained society to see intelligence as boring and emotional impulsiveness as attractive. But here's the philosophical question that will haunt you. In a world that claims to value intelligence, why are the most intelligent men the loneliest? Why do women say they want smart partners, but consistently choose emotional volatility over intellectual depth? The answer lies in understanding the fundamental mismatch between what intelligence provides and what modern dating culture demands. Intelligence gives you the ability to think long-term, to see consequences, to make rational decisions. You analyze compatibility, you consider future implications, you approach relationships like the complex systems they are. This is logical. This is mature. This is also relationship suicide in a culture that runs on instant gratification and emotional highs. While you're calculating compatibility algorithms in your head, she's feeling butterflies from someone who creates artificial scarcity and emotional roller coasters. While you're being honest about your intentions and treating her with respect, she's being pursued by someone who understands that attention is a drug and withdrawal creates addiction. The brutal truth is this: intelligence makes you predictable, and predictability is the enemy of attraction in modern dating. You don't play games because you see how destructive they are. You don't create drama because you understand it's inefficient. You don't manipulate emotions because you have empathy and ethics. These qualities make you an excellent partner, but a terrible player in today's dating game. Here's where it gets philosophically interesting. The very traits that would make you an incredible husband and father, stability, rational thinking, emotional consistency, long-term planning, are the exact opposite of what creates initial attraction in our dopamine-driven dating culture. Society has created a system where the qualities needed to attract a partner are incompatible with the qualities needed to keep one. You've probably noticed this pattern. The more you understand about psychology, the less effective you become at creating attraction. The more you know about healthy communication, the more boring your conversations become to women who are addicted to chaos. The more emotionally mature you are, the less exciting you seem to people who mistake turbulence for passion. This creates what I call the intelligence trap. The smarter you become, the more you see through the superficial games and manipulations that create short-term attraction. But rejecting these tactics doesn't make you more attractive. It makes you invisible. You're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and the rules of the game favor checkers. Let me ask you something that might sting. How many times have you watched a woman complain about dating terrible men while simultaneously ignoring good men like you? How many times have you seen intelligence, kindness, and stability lose to charm, unpredictability, and emotional manipulation? The modern dating landscape has been shaped by social media, instant gratification, and a culture that mistakes intensity for intimacy. In this environment, your ability to think deeply is less valuable than someone else's ability to create shallow excitement. Your capacity for genuine connection is overshadowed by someone else's skill at creating artificial drama. But here's what most intelligent men don't understand. The problem isn't your intelligence. The problem is how you're expressing it. You've been taught that being smart means being rational, logical, and predictable. But intelligence can also be creative, mysterious, and emotionally sophisticated. The key is learning to use your intelligence strategically rather than wearing it like a badge. Think about the most charismatic, intelligent people in history. They didn't hide their brilliance, they made it fascinating. They understood that intelligence without emotional intelligence is just information. They knew how to make complex ideas feel exciting and mysterious ideas feel accessible. They combined intellectual depth with emotional sophistication. The solution isn't to become less intelligent, it's to become more intelligent about how intelligence works in human attraction. This means understanding that attraction is emotional before it's logical, that mystery is more compelling than transparency, and that challenge is more engaging than availability. Here's a revolutionary thought. What if your intelligence could become your greatest asset in dating rather than your biggest liability? What if the very thing that makes you different could make you irresistibly attractive to the right kind of woman? What if there's a way to honor your intellectual gifts while still creating the emotional experiences that generate attraction? The ancient philosophers understood something that modern smart men have forgotten. Wisdom isn't just about having knowledge. It's about knowing when and how to use it. Socrates didn't win people over by lecturing them about philosophy. He asked questions that made them think. He created curiosity rather than providing answers. This is the missing piece for intelligent men in dating. You've been trying to impress women with what you know, instead of making them curious about what you're thinking. You've been providing solutions instead of creating mysteries. You've been demonstrating your intelligence instead of letting them discover it. The most attractive, intelligent men understand that their minds are like icebergs. They show just enough above the surface to create intrigue while keeping the vast depths hidden below. They don't lead with their IQ, they lead with their emotional intelligence. They don't explain everything, they make everything more interesting. Here's another painful question. Have you been using your intelligence as a shield to avoid emotional vulnerability? Have you been hiding behind facts and logic because feelings feel less safe and predictable? Intelligence can become a defense mechanism that protects you from rejection, but also prevents genuine connection. Many intelligent men retreat into their minds when faced with emotional challenges. They analyze instead of feeling, they think instead of experiencing, they observe instead of participating. This creates a kind of emotional autism, where you understand emotions intellectually, but struggle to create them experientially. The dating world punishes this approach because attraction is fundamentally irrational. It's not based on logical compatibility or practical considerations. It's based on how someone makes you feel in the moment. And if you're always in your head, you're never creating those feelings. But here's the paradox within the paradox. The women worth having long-term relationships with do value intelligence. They're just not the ones dominating the dating market right now. The challenge is finding them while navigating a culture that rewards the opposite of what you offer. This creates a philosophical dilemma that every intelligent man must resolve. Do you adapt to a system that doesn't value what you have to offer, or do you find ways to showcase your value within that system without compromising your integrity? The answer is both strategic adaptation and patient selection. You need to learn the language of emotional attraction while maintaining the depth of intellectual connection. You need to create short-term excitement while offering long-term value. You need to be mysterious enough to generate curiosity while being authentic enough to build trust. Think about this. Every great love story involves someone seeing potential that others missed. Your intelligence isn't a barrier to love. It's a filter that eliminates the wrong people while attracting the right ones. The goal isn't to appeal to everyone. It's to become irresistible to someone who can appreciate what you offer. The women who are worth your time are looking for depth, but they're buried under a culture that promotes superficiality. They want intellectual stimulation, but they're surrounded by emotional manipulation. They crave authentic connection, but they're offered artificial chemistry. Your job is to find them and show them there's a better way. This requires a different approach to dating entirely. Instead of trying to fit into the existing game, you need to create a new one. Instead of competing on terms that favor your weaknesses, you need to shift the conversation to terms that favor your strengths. Let me ask you one final question that will change everything. What if the reason intelligent men struggle in dating isn't because intelligence is unattractive, but because we've been taught to express it in unattractive ways? What if the solution isn't to become less smart, but to become smarter about being smart? The path forward isn't dumbing yourself down or playing games you don't believe in. It's learning to make your intelligence emotionally engaging rather than intellectually intimidating. It's understanding that attraction and compatibility are different things, and you need both for a successful relationship. Start by accepting that the dating world is currently designed against your natural strengths. This isn't your fault, and it's not a reflection of your worth. It's simply the reality you need to navigate. Once you accept this, you can stop taking rejection personally and start approaching dating strategically. Learn to create emotional experiences, not just intellectual ones. Master the art of questions rather than answers. Develop mystery and intrigue rather than transparency and predictability. Use your intelligence to understand and create attraction rather than to analyze why it doesn't work for you. Most importantly, remember that your intelligence is a gift that will become increasingly valuable as you get older and as the women you meet mature. The qualities that make you invisible at 25 will make you irresistible at 35 to the right woman. The modern dating world is temporary, but your character is permanent. Don't sacrifice who you are for short-term validation. Instead, learn to package who you are in ways that the current market can appreciate while you wait for the market to mature. Your intelligence isn't your enemy in dating. It's your greatest asset when properly deployed. The goal isn't to hide it, but to make it seductive. Not to minimize it, but to make it mysterious. Not to apologize for it, but to make it irresistible. The right woman won't just tolerate your intelligence, she'll be addicted to it. She'll crave your thoughts, seek your perspective, and be endlessly fascinated by how your mind works. But first, you need to learn how to make intelligence attractive rather than intimidating. This is the real solution to the intelligence paradox. Not becoming less intelligent, but becoming more emotionally intelligent. Not hiding your gifts, but learning to present them in ways that create attraction rather than admiration. Not changing who you are, but mastering how you express who you are. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to transform your intelligence from a dating liability into a romantic superpower, then take action right now. Subscribe to this channel for more insights on bridging the gap between intellectual depth and emotional attraction. Like this video if you've ever felt like your intelligence was holding you back in dating. The intelligence paradox is real, but it's not permanent. With the right understanding and approach, your mind can become your most attractive feature. The question isn't whether you're smart enough, it's whether you're smart enough about being smart. Don't let society convince you that intelligence is boring. Make it fascinating. Don't let culture tell you that thinking is unsexy. Make it irresistible. The world needs more intelligent men in relationships, not fewer. Be the one who figures out how to make it work.